So there's a military adage that goes something like planning and preparation prevents piss poor performance. And I want to make sure that when it comes to blogging inside your healthcare practice, you are set up for success because you have done the preparation first. So I just want to go through with you the 4 steps that you really need to embrace if you are not going to fall at the first hurdle when it comes to blogging as part of your marketing strategy. So number 1, you need to set up a schedule. Now what I mean by that is on a calendar, you need to mark on that calendar when you are going to publish every single one of your blogs for at least the next 6 months, preferably the next 12 months. Okay, so you are going to decide how often you're going to publish. Are you going to go one a week, every other week, every 3 weeks, once a month? You decide based on what you feel you can deliver. Now remember, we are all about delivering quality, not quantity, and we're about being consistent, okay? Being consistent. If you say, yes, I'm going to blog every week and you cannot commit to that and you become inconsistent with that delivery, that's worse than not actually doing anything at all. I would much rather you committed to 1 a month and you delivered it than you committed to 4 a month and you didn't deliver half of them. Okay, so number 1 is to create a schedule of when you are going to deliver those blog posts. And a top tip here is go public. Tell people, because that will help you hold yourself accountable for actually putting out those blog posts on the days you say you are going to put them out. So number 1, create a schedule and go public about that schedule. Okay, step 2 in your preparation for blogging is to decide on the subjects that you are going to deliver. Now this is relatively easy because you're in a practice, and it's really funny because so many people say to me, oh Jill, I can't think what I'm going to blog about. But this is really easy because every day you're in clinic with your patients. Every day I can guarantee your patients are asking you questions. So when it comes to deciding what subjects you're going to deliver for each of the blogs that you have now scheduled, you just have to listen to the questions that your patients are asking you, or listen to the things that you say on a regular basis. So I'll give you an example of each. So if a patient is always saying to you, how do I do X? Okay, then X would be a great subject for a video. All right, that would be a really good thing because it's something your patients want to know. How do I do X? Or how do I choose my next pair of running shoes? Or you know, those kind of questions that you know your patients are asking you. So listen to the questions your patient are asking you, or listen to the things you're saying frequently. So if you're having to repeat yourself by explaining something to every 3rd patient, how to do something, then that is a great subject for a blog post as well, because you can create the blog post and then the next time your patient says to you, or you're kind of in clinic, you think, right, I need to explain how they do that. Instead of having to spend time in your practice explaining, you can literally just send your patient the link and say, I will send you the link to this blog post, this video, doesn't matter, and you can read it, watch it, whatever, and they'll get the answer. And then they know where the answer is. They can keep coming back to it if they need to just refresh themselves. So number 2 is all about choosing the subjects you are going to blog about. Okay, so the 3rd part of your preparation is putting together a content plan, and this is where you merge the 2 things that you've done in step 1 and step 2. So in step 3, you are going to look at your diary, look at when you've scheduled all those things, and just in a Word document, have the date, and next to it, put in a subject that you are going to blog about. Now, so you've got to come up with at least 6. If you're committing to blog once every month, you need at least 6 subjects that you're going to blog about, and write a list. So every date has a subject next to it. You're committing to this. Here's the date, here's the subject I'm going to blog about. Now, here's what happens. Once you've done that list of 6 things, you're then merrily going about your day, and a patient will say something to you, or you'll see something on your news, and you'll start to kind of think, oh, that would make a really great blog post. Now, if it's really topical, or if it's something that's really current and in the news, all you do is you take those subjects you've got on the list, you shove them down, and you put the new idea at the top of the list, so the next blog post is about that thing. okay? And what happens, winner, over time is you suddenly find yourself with a list of 6 months, not just 6 months, sorry, but you've got 12 months worth of blogging sorted, squared away, date, subject. Because you've started with 6 months and over time you've added in new ideas, new topics, all that kind of thing, ideas that have come to you, and you've got a list of 12 months. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Now the fourth part of your preparation, which is really important and is often the bit that gets missed. In fact, no, all of this stuff usually gets missed. But the fourth part of this, of your preparation schedule, is putting in that calendar where you've got the dates that you're actually going to publish your blog posts, is putting in your preparation time, okay? Sadly, these blog posts are not just magically going to drop out of the ether, all right? You are going to need to put some legwork in now to actually breathe life into each of these blog posts. And to do that, you need to schedule some creative time. Schedule time where you can sit and write. Schedule time where you can stand and do videos. Schedule time when you can go online and look for images. You know, schedule time when you can actually do the typing. Because if you don't, this is not going to happen. You are going to fall at the first hurdle. You are going to miss the deadline that you've set yourself. So I always say 3 weeks in advance. 3 weeks in advance to publishing. Get some time in your diary where you can start, because this is always going to take you longer than you think. Until you get into a rhythm and into kind of a pattern of working around each blog, this is going to take you longer than you think. And so if you start 3 weeks out, you've given yourself plenty of lead time, so you're not going to miss that deadline that you've committed to. So 3 weeks out, schedule in some time, maybe 3 weeks out and 2 weeks out and maybe even 1 week out. Just schedule some time into your calendar so you know you've got some quiet, quality, creative time where you can sit down and breathe life into each of these blog articles, okay? So that is tip 4, is scheduling in some creative time. Okay, so if you take those 4 tips to heart, you are not going to fall at the first hurdle. You stand a much, much better chance of sticking to your commitments, of getting good quality blog posts published every however, often you've decided you're going to publish them. But without that preparation, remember, planning and preparation prevents piss poor performance. Without that preparation and that planning in advance, you are going to stumble, you are going to fall, you are going to miss deadlines. I know, because I have been there. I am the worst, or was the worst, at doing that. I would commit, yes, this is the year I am going to blog every so often, and poor Jo that works for me would go, yeah, okay, and she knew it wasn't going to happen. Now I'm on a mission. Once a week I'm producing a blog post, but that is because I'm planning. I've got my list in advance. I've committed to Jo. I've gone public by saying I'm going to do one of these blog posts every week, and I am just going through and scheduling stuff into my diary so that I don't drop the baton, so I don't mess up on this. And that is what you need to do as well. So take heed of those 4 tips, because if you do, you are going to set yourself up for success when it comes to having a very, very good and very healthy healthcare blog. Now, thank you very much for your time. If you've got any questions about preparing to blog, please put them in the box below this video. If you are not watching this video on jillwoods.com, please head over to jillwoods.com/blog to find the blog that relates to this video, because there'll be a lot more information on there. And other than that, thank you for your time. I wish you well, and I will see you back here next week, because I've got it in my schedule.